In the Pits is partnered with Compete. Compete is a Texas-based brand by Jell Stewart of professional team AC Diesel that provides custom jerseys, pants, headbands, straps, tech shirts, and any other soft goods to help individuals and teams compete at the highest level. Support Texas Paintball and message Compete on Facebook or Instagram and mention In the Pits Podcast for 10% off your entire order. In the Pits is partnered with Get Dat Shot. Get Dat Shot now offers first-in-line photo and video editing, 20% off Get Dat Shot merch, and 20% off prints to all teams that wear the Get Dat Shot logo on their jersey. Message GetDat_shot on Facebook or Instagram to become a Get Dat Shot program team. In the Pits is partnered with Paintball Kumite. Paintball Kumite is a program designed by Colt Roberts of professional team San Antonio X Factor to take paintball players of all ages, experience levels, and skill groups and mold them into champions. The program breaks the game down into small, easy-to-learn sessions designed to help you master the fundamentals so that you can elevate your game. Newcomers to the program get a free 1-hour introductory class when mentioning In the Pits. To sign up for a class, message @PaintballKumite on Instagram. Welcome everyone to episode 24 of In the Pits Paintball Podcast. This podcast is focused on everything that has to do... Oh, shoot, sorry, I got the chat going on here. I got like a bit of feedback. I just heard myself for a second. So this podcast is focused on everything that has to do with the paintball scene here in Texas, from professional players and teams to new divisional programs, local tournament series, field owners, Texas-based brands, even photographers and videographers. Every week, we'll have a short and sweet episode with a new topic and a new special guest. I'm Christian Smith. I'm a player for the Texas Titans. And this episode, we are going in the pits with Hector Andrade and Rolando Lopez, captains for the Balls Out and Balls Out Red, White, and Blue Lions. Gentlemen, how are you doing this evening?
Doing good.
Good to hear, man. It's great to finally get you boys on.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So let's get into it. For those listening that maybe don't know about like you guys personally, how long have you been involved in the Texas paintball scene?
I've been playing for about 22 years here in the valley, here from Texas. I mean, been playing for about 22 years since 2000.
How about you, Hector?
2001. Since 2001. I stopped playing for a long time. We came back into the sport. Started competing up in USXVL. But since 2001, I've been playing. Took a long break. Came back. Can't stay away from paintball too long.
Oh no, nobody can take a break. No one can like quit entirely. It's just a long break. That's all it is. I mean, you saw it with the GOAT himself, Oliver Lang, coming back for World Cup, getting Finals MVP on the NXL Pro Field. All right. So, questions. Let's start with Rolando. What teams have you played for over the years?
I played with Patriots for many years. Team Patriots. We started off with a field called Patriot Games, and the owner sponsored us and Team Patriots, and that's where they came from. Everyone thinks because of the Patriots football team, but it was actually from the Patriots. Patriot Games was the name of the field. I played with Patriots, been with the team forever. And then playing with a team called Texas in the Making. Hector Luna was the captain there. And then now here with Balls Out.
Sweet, Balls man. Out. Go ahead.
I said Balls Out, our D5 year, and then this year we did the red, white, and blue to did a collaboration with the Patriots and did the red, white, and blue. That's why there was two teams, a Balls Out and then a Balls Out, red, white, and blue, to kind of do the collaboration with the red, white, and blue for my Patriots.
Cool. I didn't realize that's where that name came from. That's awesome that you were able to do that.
Yeah.
All right. How about you, Hector? What teams have you been on?
I used to play with Rolando back in the days before I started playing with other teams. So I think it was Patriots, the first team that I started playing with. And I played with PDK, Paintball Depot crew. We did a lot of events over there at Houston Zone. I also played with RGB Clutch. We got to play a couple of PSP back when it was PSP. I don't know if you remember that. Back when there was also NPPL. Got to think one NPPL event in Vegas, and now it's just balls out.
Sweet, yeah. I know I'm young. I remember PSP though. I was in right at the tail end, like last two PSP events. So I started like right at the end of 2014, January 2015. So I was around for 2, 3 PSP events. It's not much, but we can still count it.
Sir.
There's some fun events in Galveston and stuff. Yeah.
I have never once heard someone refer to PSP Galveston as a fun event. I've heard a lot of other ways.
Horrible. Going out there was fun. Always going to tournaments is always fun.
The rain and that storm just got everybody going and leaving.
Yeah, I've not once heard it as fun though. That's a first. That's a first right there.
Crazy matches.
All right, so you gentlemen have been in the scene for quite a long time. So what are some things that have changed about the scene, either for better or for worse, over that time?
Man, the main thing that I saw that changed, it was the sideline coaching. And I think it changed for the better. I think it makes the teams play more as a team instead of relying on hearing what's the people on the sideline or the coach on the sidelines telling you what to do. You're just waiting for them to tell you what to do to make the move. I think it should be more the way it is now. No sideline coaching, the players on the field communicating with one another and letting them know what's going on there and being able to react. And instead of being reactive, be proactive, right? But the sideline coaching changed a lot, and the competitiveness. You got all these kids watching how these pros play, and go out there and they mimic it what they see, and they play better. The game gets harder, competition gets a lot better.
Absolutely. What about you, Rolando? What's something you've noticed has changed?
Same thing, like Hector said, all this new technology, the phones and all that, they're watching everything everyone's doing, picking up on everyone's game. My thing is, what I enjoyed back then was the 15 balls per second. I mean, that was awesome. I mean, you're shooting up people left and right, and you stop shooting, and you're still getting shot. I mean, now at 10.2, it's a little slower. Back then, I'd get 2 guys on the run, going out to the corners or whatever. Now it's a little harder. You're shooting less, but it also helps me because I'm a lot slower as well. So I'm good with the 10.2. I'm good with that.
I was going to say, reminiscing about that 15 balls a second, spoken like a true back center man right there. Yeah. That sideline coaching stuff. Actually, the last episode that I had was with Nathan Roberts. And he was talking a lot about how when he was coming up and that original AC Dallas squad made pro, like a lot of his game was just around that sideline coaching, talking with Greg Pauly. Like he was basically like being joystick by the sideline coach the whole time. And he was being told like, hey, run the snake, get up, shoot this guy, do this move. And I mean, that definitely changed the game. It's not about like gunfighting the guy in front of you anymore. It's not about out physicaling the guy. It's all mental now and all teamwork. And I think it's creating like much more well-rounded paintball players as a whole.
It was always good. We did the PSPs in Galveston. We did several of them out there. And the sideline coaching, I mean, you have to pick one person, and that's who you're going to listen to, because everyone's talking, everyone's yelling and giving you false areas where they're at or whatever positions. And you get up and go, and then there are guys right on you. So it was always good to have just that one person to listen to and listen to their voice and tell you go or don't go or shoot here, shoot there. But it was always very confusing still with everyone yelling.
It had already gotten to the points where people were just making posters and standing on the sideline holding posters, and you would look out for the posters, and it's just...
It wasn't fun.
The coaches, no coaching, made it better. There's coaching, and I know Fit does like some mech events, and it's all fun and all, right? I'm sure they have fun doing that. But as far as the 5-man competitiveness, I like the no coaching.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, when I first started playing, there was like NCPA was a year behind everyone else, so they still had sideline coaching when I first got in. Man, that was wild. Like we had guys like running around like the outside of the net, like grabbing their jersey and just like flailing it around in the air whenever, like marking the guy in the snake. Man, good times, but I also don't miss it at the same time.
Exactly.
All right, so guys, So you've been with the Patriots, you took a long break, you came back, and now you're with the Balls Out organization, which has been definitely a threat deep into playoffs and even winning tournaments. So tell me about the origin story of Balls Out.
Well, that would be me. I started playing with my brother, which is a year younger than me, and my neighbor. It was just three of us playing three-man at a local field, little local three-man tournaments, trying to win some guns and prizes here and there, and that's how it started. Just us three. Kind of broke up. My brother couldn't keep playing. My neighbor couldn't keep playing. That's when I started playing Patriots with Rolando, and we saw all these teams going out there and playing. We would play also, keep the balls out going. It's like the name balls out, and put it out there for everybody to know.
A good paintball name right there.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. So, what was it exactly? I mean, I know that the Valley scene has really come up in the last like 3-4 years. But what was it that made you guys kind of want to start this organization?
Well, these kids down here, you see they got the talent and they want to compete. They want to see how good their talent is to compete against these other teams that are out there playing. So we see you guys tight ends, shut up, we're trying. We see all these posts, going up, and we want to be part of that. We want to compete and we want to get known. We want to go out there and show what we got, show what we can do.
I think you've definitely been succeeding in that for sure. I mean, look at your results last year. You were the series. I think you were the series winners in D5 X Ball for the South Central Series for USXBL. You got 2 first places. You got a 3rd place and a 4th place. I mean, you only finishing top 4 for a full season. That's dominant right there. So tell me about the process of like getting that whole roster together that you had for last year's D5 roster.
Real quick on that note right there, that team, that 7-man team for last year's D5, 5 of them was their first tournament ever. They've never done tournaments. They've been playing here local, but that was their first major tournament to go out there and play. Me and Hector were the only guys that have played PSPs and other big tournaments before, but 5 of those our team members were newbies to this. So that was their first, and it was a good one.
A couple of us had already been playing for a while, so they didn't want to jump into D5. They thought they had a little more experience, so we started playing D4. I never got into play D5 as a tournament or a series, so Rolando's boys wanted to play, and I asked him if he would be willing to let the boys play, and I was able to get his kids and a couple of the guys from other teams here in the Valley, and we were able to make the Balls Out D5 team. After a little while, some of them weren't able to stay on. We had to keep looking for more guys, and it basically became the Patriots line that Rolly had. So that's why we ended up doing that collaboration this past season with the Patriots as a Balls Out red, white, and blue.
For sure. So, I mean, even with those kids not having any experience, I mean, coming right out the gate, getting first place, that's definitely something to be proud of. I think y'all actually ended up knocking our D5 boys last year out at that event, at that first event as well. It was definitely a tough game. I think it was like semifinals or something like that.
Yeah, we did. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got a history in D5 of going up against each other, the Titans and the Balls Out team. So tell me about like your process, like your practice routine, outside coaching that you're bringing in. Like how often are you doing drills? Like what steps did you all take last year to keep that ball rolling like throughout the whole season in D5 all the way to the series title?
I think mainly just going out there and practicing against these local teams that we have available to us, playing against Demolition, Haywire, Adrenaline, Texas Militia, Void. They're all out there competing against us and competing with each other. Just the competition that they bring, being able to practice with other teams out here. We haven't done much drilling this year, which I would like to. And that, we've never really done much drilling, just going out there and playing a lot of games.
We go out there and study the field. The guys, Hector, Joseph, and them are real good finding bounce shots and all that. So we'll go out there and we'll study the field in the morning, do a couple of runs, and we'll run and shoot. The one guy's running and we're shooting, trying to see if we can catch him on a bounce or something. So we study the field pretty good, and the teams Haywire, Demo, Texas Demo, they help us out when they're practicing. We help them out as well. So the whole team, all the Valley teams basically are there, and we all help out each other out. So it's good because they'll see our flaws and they'll come and tell us, hey, you were sticking out too much, or your elbow was sticking out, or you got out here because of this. And then when they're playing, we do the same thing with them. We'll tell them, and hey, you did this wrong, or you did this or that. So we help out each other a lot. So that's a big help as far as making us get better as well. We make them better, and they help us get better as well.
It also helps that Delta has been very good about getting the updated bunkers. So they always have the layout up. You know how they always take out the layout 2 weeks before. We're always out there practicing the layout and how Rolly says, seeing what shots we can get, seeing what are the easier shots to get, seeing who can make what runs, who can get to what position quickly and come up to shoot somebody. It's play the field.
Yeah, it's cool, and it's also crazy like how like people would think like, oh, in practice, like those team names that you named, Texas Demolition, Haywire, those are some like Division III, Division II teams. Like those, I think Demolition is signed up in the in Premier for Bunkerfest this upcoming season. Haywire competed in USXBL D3 this year. Like those are some like pretty up there in terms of like experienced players, and going up against them as a D5 squad, like you can think, oh man, I'm just gonna get my ass kicked every weekend for the whole season, but no, it helps a lot, and you see that with these top programs in Division 5, like heck, even our own Texas Titan D5 line this year. They're always, and they won the series this year in USXBL. They also won NXL Dallas in D5 5-man, and it's like they're constantly going up against like the upper Titan lines. Like even when the Titans were first coming on and going up, like we were going up against like the grit players for the first couple of months. So like finding those experienced players and practicing against them like a lot, like just hey, if you practice against these guys that are better than you, you're gonna take a few things away from that, and then eventually, hey, like that's how you get better. That's how you start winning. And
those grit players that you say, there's actually a couple of guys from down here in the valley that played with grit. Brandon, Victor,
Rinaldi, and Victor Abarca.
So yeah, we get to play with them too.
Yeah, well, if practice is the hardest day of paintball that you're gonna have, then hey, you'd prefer it that way, right? That way you get to the event and it's much easier than how you were preparing. All right, so y'all, continuing on, going into this year's season, so the season that just ended, 2022, what was your goal for your squads for this year?
For me, it's always trying to win the series. So didn't get it this year, but we got to stay in D4 another season, so we'll be playing some D4 again this coming season, and again, hope to get that series champs check.
And with me, I always tell my boys, my kids, and my teammates from the red, white, and blue. I mean, to me, of course, we all want to win, and that's the whole point of playing is to win. But I always tell them, have fun, guys. Have fun. I mean, enjoy it. If we win, it's a bonus. Go out there with the mentality that you want to win. But if we don't win and you give it your 110%, that's all that matters. We got beat by a better team. But enjoy it and have fun.
Those are some solid goals right there. I mean, it's all about the love of the game, right? So if you're not having fun with what you're doing, then why are you even out there spending several $100s on, on these little gelatin pods full of paint, shooting at each other, getting shot at a lot? Got to do it for the love of the game, for sure. Yep. So, looking at this year's 2022 season finishes, you won the first USXBL in D5. Came up against Titan guys in the finals, and then you had with your balls at and your balls are red, white, and blue lines in D4. You had a 4th place and a 5th place finish. Although you guys didn't play all of the events this year, so what was it that was keeping you from coming to all of the events this year?
Mainly, it's having all the guys to go out there with the travel and the money. You know, we're not as lucky as many of you guys up there in San Antonio, Austin, all these areas where there's a couple of fields and there's a lot of teams that go out there and compete. You know, these USXBO events, they're over there. For us, you know, it's a long drive. We got to get those Airbnbs. We got to pay the rentals. We got to all these food expenses. It gets expensive, and going out there, having the players to go out there, I think that's the main reason that stops us from being able to play as much paintball as we would like to.
And the other one is work. I mean, I know my red, white, and blue team, we made all 4 events. The balls out missed a couple of events, but because of work, the guys have work, and I mean, we all have work, but some of them couldn't get the days off and stuff. So it's always hard. But that's another reason. Another reason why their lineup didn't make it to all of them was because they didn't have enough players to do the work as well.
Gotcha. I mean, how far is, like, just to put it in perspective for everybody else that's listening, let's say like for the USXBLs that are in San Antonio at X Factor, and then for the USXBLs that are up at Fit, like how far of a drive is it for you guys just to even make it to the field?
Just San Antonio, it's a 4-hour drive, so it's a lot more manageable. But Dallas is about what, 7.5, 8-hour drive. So
that's a long drive, and I think that's probably the longest drive for any of the teams that are competing in the series. So it's definitely some extra obstacles that y'all are going through just to make it there, let alone
that makes it harder. That makes it harder only because we got to get Monday off, because to play a whole day of Sunday paintball and then drive back Sunday 8 hours is just a killer. And not having the B&B anymore or the hotel we already checked out, to come back all stinky and stuff, which we've done it. It's happened before, but it just makes it harder to play out there and have to get another night for Monday and drive back on Monday. So that's another day off from work. And the bosses sometimes, paintball, that's, what are y'all playing around with balls and shooting balls with guns? To some of these bosses, it's a joke. They don't see it as a sport. So it's just kind of hard to say, hey boss, we're gonna go play some paintball. And they're like, what?
Yeah, for sure. Those are definitely a lot of obstacles in there. And I mean, even just all the more respect for y'all showing up and just absolutely dominating whenever you do get there. So looking like throughout y'all's career, and like not just with Balls Out, but also like your own personal stuff with like Patriots and all the other teams that you've been on. So looking at your individual careers, what have been your favorite moments so far?
For me, it would have to be the Series 5 champs, man. When we won that, I had never played such big tournaments. Well, the PSPs, right? But the whole series, being able to play the whole series and play those big tournaments against these big teams, and to be able to come out with a big win at the end, that was awesome. I've never held a big check in my life before to that point. And man, last year when we had to play a World Cup, they made us bump up to D4 from D5, and we were still able to go out there and get 6th place. So I thought that was pretty good for us. Hopefully this year we could place a lot better. Those moments were awesome, man. Going out there and being able to compete at those highest levels and doing awesome is a good feeling.
And for me, I've won tournaments all over the place, first place trophies, whatever, guns, everything like that. I've done it with my brothers when we first started. But that season was very special for me, because to win it at my age and then to win it with my 2 sons playing with me in the team as well, that was just memorable for me. That was the greatest feeling to me, playing the tournament, playing the series, winning the series with them. All the wins that I've had in the past, they were awesome, but to win with my oldest son and my youngest son, that was just the greatest feeling I could ever have. I was so happy to have done that with them. Memories that'll last. Once I'm gone, they'll remember those memories, and they'll always remember that me playing with them.
It was awesome because it was a lot of their first time ever playing tournaments like that. I was on the line because I wanted to play D5, but a lot of the guys on there they hadn't played tournament ball before, and to go out there the first time playing tournament ball and win the series, it's an awesome feeling.
That's the dream right there. Not only, winning the series with those close to you, but like having your own kids be on there. And man, I hope, and I think a lot of people listening hope to be able to have that experience one day, to be able to pass it on to their children. This love for the game. Hope that they like it, but also like, getting to experience that success, like working toward that series title, man, that's something truly special right there. I'm holding right here in my hand, Texas Titans. Like, we got 2 series medals this year. We got one in D5 and one in D4, and like those, like getting to experience with those guys. Like, I didn't play D5; I was just coaching them, calling plays for them the whole season. But getting like to experience it with those guys, I know that it was truly special for them. It was something that they have been working so hard for the whole year, and more than just this year, also like kind of getting started with a lot of those guys toward the second half of last year. So getting that payout was incredible. So
Yeah, I mean, going out there, how I told you, it's these we see these big teams out there playing. You guys, Shut Up, We're Trying, Dallas Pirates, all these big teams out there winning. To go out there and show what we had, we went out there and we won it. It felt good.
Yep, for sure.
absolutely. So before we continue, y'all, we got the chat popping off right now. Welcome to everybody that's tuning in live. If you have something that you want to ask Rolando or Hector, go ahead, type your questions in the chat. We will get to it towards the end of the show. I see we got a couple of people typing stuff already. Like earlier when we were talking about like drills and other stuff y'all do at practice, I saw like 3 different people. They're saying, "What are drills? What's that?" So I see. I see Carlos is in the chat as well. Shout out to Carlos. He's saying, "Christian, I want my X Factor CS2 back." Sorry, sir. That thing, I am not letting go of that one. You should have held on to that.
I was wondering who picked that up.
Yep, I got it, and I'm holding on to it. It's not leaving my possession. I will.
Shout out to everybody out there, Carlos, Delta, all the teams out there, Haywire, Demo. I mean, everyone out there that's helped us out. Just quick shout out to everyone out there.
Oh yeah, lots of balls out, lots of Delta family in the chat. Shout out to all you guys. Appreciate the support. So y'all, looking forward to next season into the future. So what does Balls Out have in store as far as like what series are y'all gonna play? How many lines are you looking to field? Do y'all have any tryouts coming out? Tell us, what's in store.
Tryouts. We're not gonna do another D5 this coming season. We're gonna focus on D4, and I believe we're gonna play the Bunkerfest series. And we're gonna do some USXBL. I don't know if we're gonna be able to play the whole USXBL series. I hope to, but it's being that Bunkerfest and USXBL are a week apart. Some of the guys we're gonna have to choose which one or the other. Do both. So Bunkerfest, USXBL, and if we can get some guys together to play NXL, that would be awesome. Because for sure, a lot of us want to go play World Cup at the end of the year. And we have Round Rock right here. The NXL event is going to be here in Round Rock, so that's 2 events. I think it takes 3 events. Like for the series to plus points, they count 3 events, so we can throw another event in there, and that'd be awesome. We could play the NXL, but for sure, Bunkerfest and USXBL, you guys will see us there. We're going to be up actually Frostbite. A couple of us are going to be up at Frostbite this coming weekend. So that's going to be fun also.
Sweet. Yeah, good luck to you guys. Are you doing the X ball or are you doing the 3-man up at Frostbite?
Well,
And I'm playing the old man, the old fogies. I'm playing the masters.
Love it. Well, good luck to y'all this weekend for sure. We'll definitely see you next year. NXL Round Rock, I'm super looking forward to. That's basically home field advantage for Titans. Like we could probably ride our bikes to the field, to be completely honest. So,
Nice.
yeah, we got about half of us are on my line anyway. We're based up in Austin, so we're super excited, especially because it's more than likely going to be at the same venue that the Bunkerfest event was last year. So, I mean, heck, we're 1-0 at that field, so we got to go defend it, you know? Yeah. As far as the series for NXL, we got to see how that changes. I know they just announced their schedule, I think, yesterday, and they took out all the minor events. It's only majors now. So I don't know if they're going to go back to the whole, like, you got to play everything model, or if they're only going to take, like, 2 scores, 3 scores, whatever, depending on the division.
let's see how all that works out before we commit to NXL. But World Cup is always fun, so that's something I think we went.
Last year.
2021.
Yeah.
So we had a blast out there.
That was awesome.
We want to go out there again.
Hopefully, there's not another hurricane for the next one.
Not like this past season.
Yeah, I know that y'all were planning on coming for this past one. That just the hurricane and the canceled flights and all that just kind of put a stop to it all. Well, we're definitely hoping to see y'all there next year. So you already gave a couple of shout outs to guys in the chat, but who else do you want to shout out? Like, who has been helping the Balls Out crew the most to get you to where you are right now?
Oh, well, like I said, if we're going to talk about who's been helping us out, we're just going to have to repeat those teams that are out there and helping us out, playing against them every weekend. Demo, Haywire, Adrenaline, Texas Militia, Void. Am I missing anybody? And we've had, I think, like these past, was it the last 2 or 3 tournaments, we had Victor Abarca go out there and help us. He's a higher divisional player. He's coached us, and he's done well in coaching. He can keep on helping us out this year, but we'll see what his plans are.
And for me, as far as help for me, Hector's been a great help. I mean, I was lucky enough for my son, Devin, to get picked up and go play with AC Empire with Greg Pauly and them, Joe Stewart, and that was pretty cool. They've helped them out with gear here and there and stuff like that. To my son, and of course, our, I would say, personal main sponsor would be Delta Paintball Field out there in Nolan. I mean, we do all these fundraisers, and they order a bunch of plates from us and everything, so that's a big help. All the family and friends that buy plates for me, I appreciate all of them as well for helping us out. I mean, paintball is an expensive sport, and I'd rather have my kids be playing that and stuff instead of being out there doing bad things, But it costs to play, so we got to do all these fundraisers and stuff. But again, Hector started with me, and I'm ending with him. As far as the team with Patriots and Balls Out, and Hector's been a blessing for me and the kids as well. So I gotta give all my thanks to him as well, right here next to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's great to see. I loved all the fundraiser stuff that I saw online on Facebook. Definitely was getting a lot of support, a lot of love from the community down there at Delta. Y'all seem to be well taken care of down there, for sure. All right, guys. Guys in the chat, if you got any questions you want to ask, we're getting towards the end of our show, so last chance to get it in there. This next question I got for you guys, this is what I ask everybody that comes on the show. It helps me, it helps everybody else know, like, hey, who are the up and comers? Like, give them a shout out, give some new guys some recognition, but also it helps me know, like, who do I have to have on the show next? So, are there any Texas-based players, brands, teams, projects, tournament series, like anybody in Texas in the paintball scene that have caught your attention lately? So, if there's someone in Texas that we do not know about, who do we need to know about?
Well, I won't say not know about, but not that he's very well known either. But my son is an up and coming youngster, and his best friend Emmy Flores as well, Devin Lopez and Emmy Flores. I mean, they made some noise last year. They both got MVPs along the series as well. My son got 2 MVPs, and Emmy got 1. Both of them made a bunch of noise out there last year and this year as well. And they've gotten to play with AC Empire for the 10-man ITPL as well. So just to get recognized, and for Greg giving them the opportunity to go play out there with them was a great deal. A great deal for us here in the Valley. You know, there's, like I said before, there's a lot of players, but them two for sure right now are the up and coming stars that are out there balling and going balls out, literally. Hector.
Yeah. I mean, not as far as players, but I think Paintball Fit is doing a lot of great things out there. You know, that's family-based team. I love how JD's always out there happy, doing everything he can. They got an awesome sponsorship. I don't know if you guys know about the Hydra sponsorship. You guys could look into that. I've also saw today Jonathan Chavez? He's out there doing like a Hispanic paintball team. I think that's pretty cool. And actually, we're trying to get a little bit of T-shirts out there. Maybe have a booth at Bunker Fest. You guys might want to check it out if we were able to get out there and have some merchandise. So that'd be cool. That'd be able to help us out a bit. But I think a lot of fields can take notes from Paintball Fit, man. They're out there. They're doing good stuff. Doing all those mech events. Trying to get the paintball community involved to go out there and play, do as much as they can to get people out there and get paintball going.
I mean, there's a reason they're the juggernaut that they are now, right? Like, I remember Paintball Fit when they were just this small little, like, one like turf field add-on to Mad Dogs, which is that rec field that's in the front now. And they had that small little turf field, and then they had this whole netted like 3v3 reball area. And that's what they were known for at the time, was that you could go play reball on weeknights. And it was like $20, $25 or something like that to go play all night. And now you've seen, like, we've been able to see their progress, like literally building the field brick by brick. And now they've got, 3 big fields. One of the fields is big enough to be a 10-man field. They've got like all of these events that they're hosting, all of these top level teams that are coming out of there. Like, the North Texas scene is gigantic now. They've got I want to say at least 10 different organizations that play out of there. So shout out to Fit. Of course, shout out to Devin. Shout out to Devin. Shout out to Emmy. They're definitely getting noticed. Carlos is messaging me all the time. When are you gonna get Devin on? When are you gonna get Devin on the show? And it's like it'll come for sure. Making noise. It's awesome. He's getting the opportunity to go play with AC Empire. He did really well too. So y'all are definitely doing things right.
For the events.
Mm-hmm.
So sure they did good, and he got a big old ring, and that he was pretty excited about that.
I bet. I mean, he's earned every bit that he's gotten so far. He's earned it. So excited to see where he's going. Hopefully, pretty soon we might see him on the webcast on Go Sports.
Hopefully, that's what I want. I want to see him there. So hopefully soon.
For sure. We got Carlos in the chat. He said Devin's going pro, and I'll be there to take his first pro picks.
Hell yeah.
All right. So let's see if we got any other questions in the chat. We got shout out to BEM Raps. Let's see. What do you guys think about the local events? Trying to get buzz to help get some events going on in the Rio Grande Valley.
Man, it'd be nice to have some local events. There's not much fields here other than Delta. I think Laredo has another field. I don't know. It'd be cool if we can get a series going down here. Maybe get some teams from Mexico over here to Texas. It'd be nice to have some tournaments, but it's not as easy to organize as over there. There's not as many teams to compete to have these tournaments. I think it'd be easier to have like 3-man tournaments, things like that. But it's the challenges that we face going up there. Now the challenges those teams up there would have to face coming down here. So we understand it is difficult, but I mean we would love to have more tournaments.
We have Anonymous from Laredo that comes down, and also Paintball Fix from Corpus that comes down. I remember back in the day, Overhead, I believe they became a semi-pro team at one time, and Overhead would come down all the time. They were from Mexico. Cyclops, there was several teams from Mexico that would come back here in the early 2000s, play here a lot. And I mean, those were some fun times. There was teams from Brownsville as well. And we'd get together, and it was almost like a little tournament. Animal Paintball, the Animal team, Animal Factory would come down, and they would come play out here with us as well. From Laredo, Animal Paintball was from Laredo, and they'd come down here and play as well. And I mean, we had some. There were practically almost tournaments. We'd have 7, 8 teams out here playing, and Monstars was a popular team from back in the day. Robert Cano, shout out to Robert. But I mean, we used to have some good teams out here, and like I said, Mexico would come down all the time, but then it just died out, and it just stopped. I guess. I mean, no one would come out here anymore, and I don't know if they blame it on the violence or what out there in Mexico, but it just stopped. And I mean, now we're down to one paintball field, and it's all we have, so it's hard. I mean, they're always real busy, parties and stuff. To throw a tournament, I mean, I don't know how that would work with them. I mean, it'd be awesome if they would something like that, but it takes a lot to do a tournament. It's not just 3-4 people. You need a big team to do something like that.
For sure.
So all the outside teams that ever want to come out here, San Antonio, you guys as well. I mean, come out here and play. We got a great field, and the food out here, it's Mexican food. You got enchiladas with flour tortillas in San Antonio. That's not Mexican food. Mexican food, you got to come down to the valley to have real authentic Mexican food.
For sure. Let's see what other events if y'all can get like a 3-man event going, like I'm down to come down. Like I want to start getting like more connected with more members of the Texas paintball community. And I mean, it's a big community. Like for a while there, it was really just like Houston was like a big thing, and then Fit started coming up, and because Fit started coming up, they started dominating everything. Like you look at NXL, like Shut Up or Trying was winning D5. D3, you had like 4 or 5 different teams out of Fit. You had like TOG, not Texas Phalanx. I don't think they were out of Fit quite yet. They might have been like towards the end of their time, but like lots of teams, of course, Fit.com themselves when they were back in D3, and then going all the way up to D2, D1, like Texas teams across the board. And now, like, because of all that, we're in the middle of an arms race. Like, and it's not just Fit, not just Houston, not just San Antonio. You got guys in Austin. Notorious just won the pro spot. You got, of course, y'all down in the valley. We got like teams. We got Elite over in Lubbock as well. Like, they were consistently top 4 this whole year in D4. So Texas is deep everywhere, and it's definitely worth paying attention to, because you're going to see a lot of future pros, a lot of future stars coming out of these different like mini scenes within the Texas scene pretty soon. For sure. All right, guys. So looking at the questions in the chat before we finish up here, let's see. Question from I Simply Aim is, do y'all have any like new balls out jerseys coming for next year?
We always design a new jersey every season. We were talking about maybe doing a collaboration with JT, but usually we go with our main line, and we talk to Anthony over there at Ugly Paintball, and we work out a design with him. He's really good about putting what I have in my mind on a canvas. I kind of draw it out a little bit, send proofs back and forth. Anybody wants a jersey, just hit us up, look Instagram, we'll get you one. But yeah, there'll definitely be a new jersey coming this new season.
Cool. Another question in the chat. What do you guys think about the number of bunkers on the field? Too many, too little, or just right? I mean, y'all have been playing since '01, so you've seen that change pretty drastically over the years. So give me your thoughts on that.
I like the amount of bunkers. The X was pretty cool back in the days, going under the X and having the big X that not being able to shoot that middle shot.
Car wash.
But those car washes also, right? But the field size of bunkers are good. We like the size of the bunkers. There's some bigger ones, there's some smaller ones, but you just gotta adjust.
And I'm fine with it as well. I mean, I'm a big boy, so I need as much cover as I can get.
So you're liking like when they put the juice boxes in and took out those small bunkers. You were a fan of that then, weren't you? All right. Looks like one last question from the chat here. So y'all were talking about 15 BPS back in the day. Would you like to see it come back, or are you cool with 10.2 now?
I'm good with 10.2.
It'd be fun. Maybe have one or two here and there. Just mix it up. Just like the way Paintball Fit does it, they have all these different mechs and stuff. That it'd be fun to have one. You know what? Do a 15 ball per second. Not for the whole. Not completely forever. I mean, the 10.2 is perfect right now the way it is. But it would be fun to go back to that 15 just for shits and giggles, like they say. Just to make it fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Too much money, man.
Yeah, there you go too.
I don't know. I mean, I think you're gonna have some of our faster players not very happy with that answer right there.
Yeah,
It'd be hard to get through those lanes. Much harder.
For sure. I mean, I'm fine with it. I like shooting lanes. I like shooting people off the break. I like getting to tell people, no, you don't get to play this point. That's one of my favorite things to do. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you so much for your time. Do you have any last shout outs or things you'd like to say before we sign off?
Shout out to Delta, our home field. Thank you for all they do for us, going out there and setting up. Sometimes they have guys go out there early to set up the bunker for us so we can go out there and play before the general crowd gets there. Let the teams get a little bit of extra time out there. Shout out to Carlos, get that shot, always with those awesome picks. Ugly, always providing us with awesome jerseys. I got all these sponsors out here. Hydra out there doing great stuff, man. Their gear, their sponsorships. Inflict, I always thank Evan and Inflict for the logo, letting us go crazy with the logo, designing the logo. Bob's Pickle Pops, they're one of our sponsors. Shout out to Bob's Pickle Pops. Uno's Jerky. Well, who else we got over here? Paintball. So yeah, shout out to all these guys. Appreciate all you guys do for us and helping us out in the ways that you all do.
Same thing for me as well, and like I said earlier, everyone that helps me out along the way to get my boys and myself out to all these tournaments and helping out with these fundraisers. And again, I can't say enough for Janet and Nolan. They're from Delta Paintball Field. Gary as well. I mean, they've been a great blessing for me and my boys, my two sons, helping us out along the way and everything. And hopefully you'll be seeing more of them out there and big things for the kids and stuff. And hopefully we'll next year be a good year for us.
Chat saying, don't forget Mavens.
Yeah,
I said Mavens. I said it. You guys are not listening.
Julio.
Hey,
Shout out to Julio. Yes, sir.
Shout out to you in the pits, man. Thanks for having us out here. And thanks for representing Texas and having us heard, and for all of us to know what's going on with the Texas scene. I think what you're doing right here is pretty cool, and we really enjoy watching the streams and listening to you, listening to the people you got on here. They're all very interesting, and we really enjoy it.
Appreciate it, guys. There's so many good people in Texas. So much talent, so many like people behind the scenes or like helping us out online, making us look good. Like Carlos, one of my partners for this show, he'll get me like photos and make like the images, like the what's it called, the thumbnails for a lot of these episodes. Shout out to Carlos. Thanks again for that CS2. I'm
Yes.
shout out. I think we got a lot of people in the chat actually. When I checked, I think the highest count that I saw was 26 people in the chat. I saw there's someone in here named JD underscore paintball fit. JD, if that's you, shout out to you, sir. Doing a lot to help elevate the standard here in Texas.
One more shout out, Chris. Sorry to interrupt. When you're talking these BEM raps, man, they got some awesome raps. You guys got to check out those raps. He just did an awesome rap for me, custom raps. So you guys need some raps at a good price. Hit up my guys over here at BEM Raps, man.
And I got a final shout out as well for Mark Johnson. He's been good to me as well. I gotta give him a shout out as well. Mark, GP, Gel out there. But I gotta send out a shout out to Mark also. Mark Johnson, AC Diesel. Thank you guys, everyone.
Yep. Shout out to all those guys. Lots of great people in Texas. Shout out to Gel as well for me. Gel's a partner with the podcast. He made these shirts. By the way, announcement about the shirts. Gel sent me a message yesterday or earlier today saying that the shirts have shipped. So I will be getting them here in the next few days. So if you pre-ordered an In the Pits shirt, I will have the tracking info to you shortly. Or if you're local to me, then I'll hand it to you the next time I see you guys. So y'all, thank you everybody in the chat so much for tuning in, and everybody listening on the recorded. Be sure to go follow Balls Out. That's at ballsout_PB on Instagram. What other guests would you guys like to see on the show? Be sure to leave a comment down below. While you're at it, hit that subscribe button. The show goes live weekly here on twitch.tv/inthepitspaintballpodcast, and recordings are posted to YouTube, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify the next day. Shout out to my partners and sponsors. Obviously, shout out to Get That Shot and Gel Stewart's Compete. Also, shout out to FU Athletics. That's my teammate Thomas, who makes athletic clothing, and a portion of his sales go back to cancer research. So go check him out. Also, shout out to Paintball Kumite. That's Colt Roberts. And his paintball training regimen that he's been heading up. Been supporting us, me, X Factor, everybody on the Titans been supporting us a lot. So y'all, we will see you guys next week for episode 25. Stay tuned for the December schedule. I'll give you a quick little sneak peek as for who our guest is for next week. You may have seen him on the finals field at World Cup this year, and he is a Texas native. So that should probably give you all of the hints that you'll need for this one. So guys, we will see you next week for episode 25. Take care, everybody.
See ya.